Saratoga. I don't know Eddie 9V.
Never heard of it
I
until
like
tonight.
this.
I
What'd
this.
you hear it on?
I heard on Sirius.
What channel?
I think it was Spectrum.
Oh, you're on the Spectrum?
What Daddy's on.
I was just going to say.
Channel 28.
You know what, dude? I am starting to believe your family members.
That I'm on the Spectrum?
Yes! A little bit.
Well, good. Then I got an excuse.
No. No, you don't.
What do you mean, no? You can't just slap that on me.
Yes, I can.
And then I can't use it.
No, you can't.
At my convenience.
You're a high functioning guy, but I think you get down a rabbit hole.
Right, we need to have a tester come in, and we need to figure it out.
Have a tester. His name is Jackson. He'll test you.
All you get is the ability. We'll get you a handicap sticker.
No, there's no handicap. Here's the thing: there are people that believe that, and I'm not going to say all things are not equal, but that the people on the spectrum are a part of evolution. And, some of the greatest minds clearly hyper-focused on something and being able to almost be obsessed with it is that. I mean, when Jackson was little, he could take you to the Museum of American History or down in New York City. What is it? What's the museum down there? Natural History, Nature, I don't remember.
History Museum?
Yeah, I think that might be it, but I'm forgetting the name of it, which is wonderful. Anyway, he went with my mother, and my mother's like, he didn't have to read the plaques. He explained everything, like just off the top of his head.
Oh, wow.
Because he absorbs everything. And that's where I always feel like with that guy, he's not doing what he should be doing. Jackson should be creating something.
Yeah.
He's a creator, and he's just not doing that yet. So.
Wasn't he a welder at one point?
A lot of math in welding.
Oh, okay.
Tremendous amount of math.
Oh, it's
For
not
real.
just. It's not
no,
just.
It's not. It's not just like fired
not
up.
just-
It's not fired up and let's put it together. You can, but they're not
There's
hiring
a tech
it for
class
shit.
in high school that was yeah.
No,
There's two pieces of metal. Have at it, Hoss.
Have at it, Hoss, and make a sculpture is way different than. But there's a lot of math.
Okay.
Math that goes into that, and I think that was a bit of a struggle. But that's a discussion for another day. But speaking of that, like math and things, you don't have to do any. You don't have to really think that much anymore. And people are very upset. I don't know if have you guys seen the Apple iPad new ad that's come out for the world's thinnest iPad? So basically, okay, so it's just there's not worth playing the audio. But basically, what they're doing is they have underneath they have like paints and a piano and a guitar and like a studio and all this, and it's being squished down, right? And you're seeing like things pop out, and basically it's saying that everything you could want is in this iPad. It's the world's strongest iPad, and it is the world's thinnest iPad, the strongest, most capable. It's the new iPad, and people are outraged because they feel like it's killing the creative process. But what they're showing is it's killing the creative process. And I didn't take it as that. I took it as everything that is part of the creative process, painting and everything, you can create in here. You don't need to go buy the paints. You can learn guitar. You can learn all that. I still think that most people would go buy a guitar. But tech is taking over. And I started to think, I go, you really don't have to think that much anymore. I can't tell you how many times, like, just to spell a word, you used to have to look it up. You had to go to the dictionary. You had to go through. You had to know your alphabet. You had to know what came before what, right? All the not that any of that's hard. That's not what I'm saying. But it was time consuming, and you learned to spell the word because you didn't want to look it up again in case it came up. I can't tell you when I'm writing anything. I'll just shout out, "Hey, blank, spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious." I don't know, something like that, and it does it for you. And I don't have to think. It's right there.
That's the trade-off with modern technology.
I know, but I'm going,
the internet was the big one.
Is this a good one? Is this good or bad? I don't know. Does it kill the creative process? I don't think it does. I think if you're a creative person, you're going to find ways to adapt to what's available. I think that everything throughout life has done that. Right, the Sistine Chapel wouldn't have been the Sistine Chapel 100 years prior
if it weren't for the first 15.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just wouldn't have had that. Everything is building on itself. That's why I believe that everything is always expanding, and that's sort of proof. Mm-hmm. But I don't know with the technology and with school now. Like, I think it was you who was Danny, because you bitch about a lot of things.
Does that iPad got a personality in it for Dad?
What happened to Danny? What happened to Dan? What happened to
me? What happened?
Dan was fun. Now you get fired
I am.
up.
I think that's fun, though.
You become
First wife dropped him
really-
on his head.
come off.
I'm really not.
But you get off my lawn, Dan. All right. The handwriting in school, was that you? They're not teaching handwriting in school. Somebody on the podcast, may not have been you. I think it's somebody else.
But they are.
I think they are too,
They
but
are.
I don't know
Brady did
in
it.
public school. Does he go to public school?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
And there's no cat litter boxes in the bathroom.
Yeah, but
either.
I don't know if certain schools are not teaching handwriting. I know, like, I'll tell you this. It isn't the same as when my dad went to school. Like, my dad has the neatest penmanship in the world, and he told me that he just realized kids were winning awards for penmanship, and he goes, this stuff is awful. I'm going to do it better. And so he did.
Well, remember Jay Fry? Our buddy Jay Fry, he was in that band called the Dirty White Boys.
Oh, yeah.
And he came to our show a few times. Great character. He's a tattoo artist. He used to go every winter. He would go over to Hawaii and volunteer his services, he said, to tattoo the troops. The troops that were stationed in Hawaii. I tattoo the troops every winter. But the thing
You
is
got a
that
free trip to Hawaii.
so I asked him to sign some forms to be on the show. And I'm like, man, you got a great signature. He goes, bro, he told me the tattoo artist story. He goes, you want to hear something funny? I go, yeah, sure. My daughter can't even sign her name. She's 16 years old. I go, wait, what?
Yeah,
Now, at that point, they weren't teaching. This is about 2012.
Yeah.
They weren't teaching kids how to write in cursive anymore. He goes, I had to show my daughter how to sign her name. She couldn't do it.
I don't know that it's
That
good
must
or
be a special school because all my children.
yeah, mine too. I think Jameson, but I don't really know, to be quite honest with you. And here's the thing is, I don't know that I care one way or the other. Things evolve and change, and we don't sign a lot of things. You get a contract now, you're putting your electronic signature on there. It writes it for you, right?
Yeah, DocuSign.
Yeah, it does the whole thing. So I don't necessarily have a problem with it as some people do, but they feel like it's a lost art. Motor skills, fine motor skills, thinking, being able to create. I don't know. It's an interesting debate as technology gets stronger and stronger and starts to, I don't know if it takes over or not.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the more technology has changed our lives and made it easier and made it more convenient, the more we've lost over the years, like learning to change a tire,
Well, I'll tell you-
or doing your plumbing in your house.
I'll give you that.
Or do
I'll
it
give you
yourself
that.
type
I'll give
stuff.
you
You
that.
know,
I will
like my
give you that.
father was a man's man, and he could. I mean, he didn't do a great job at fixing things, but he could fix
sure.
it and make it work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he would even say he wasn't an expert.
My father, what? Why are you? Why?
Because you pause. No S. Yeah, okay. No, but the point is that
I was kidding.
I know that, but the point.
you and it's all the Italians. They think they can fix.
They think they can fix everything.
Every Italian I've ever known, they think they can fix anything. I've got into
Yeah,
Italian.
you know what? I'm
homes.
gonna have a protest
I'm
on
going to
this
tell
show.
you something right now. I went to an Italian guy's house who told me, hey, I do all this stuff myself. Guess what was backwards in the bathroom?
Everything?
Hot and cold water.
Yeah.
And it's a simple fix. You just unscrew it and wrap it around the other way.
Yeah.
But he had he goes, when you go in there, the blue is actually hot and the red handle is all. Yeah, okay.
Bill Moran once said famously,
Yeah,
goes, I
what
think
is it?
Italians are just dumb
All
Jews.
right, careful. Don't get me in trouble.
Wow.
Don't get me in
Well, I'm
trouble.
Italian. I can say that you said that.
I did say something similar to that.
No, but
I
like
did.
the point is that because of life, because of the
a lot of
ease
family,
technology,
I would say, very strong sense of family. Italians, same thing with the Jews.
Yes.
they take care of each other.
Yeah.
The Jewish people have a very strong sense of family, and I think that there is a stereotype, and I'm just going to say it, and I'm not picking the Jewish mother, right? The Jewish mother, but they push to get the best out of you.
Yes.
And if you look at it that, and I really believe that. I know a Jewish mother that once went behind the counter at the deli because she didn't like the way her sandwich was made.
Oh wow!
I'm not kidding. And her kid, highest level you could get to in his profession. I'm not honest. Great guy, loved him. He was very nice, very, and really was a cool guy.
So where do we fall short, my people?
Boppity boopy.
Boppity boopy. Hey, you spent so much time
I'll tell
cooking,
you
Ma.
what. I say this. I think Tesla was a genius. Italian.
Yeah,
I think
he had some ideas stolen from him.
Yeah, like all of them.
Antonio Meucci invented the telephone.
Yeah.
Not Alexander Graham Bell.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, we're going to debate this?
Yeah.
I'm going to have a protest. I'm going to camp out outside your studio.
Well, who invented radio? Who gets credit? Marconi, another Italian, but it was really Tesla who did waves and all that stuff. Either way.
But the point is, though,
yes.
to bring it back to like do it yourself and stuff.
Yes.
There's more and more things have become so much easier now, convenient wise.
All right, I got two schools of thought. Go ahead.
That like we've now forgotten or not been taught how to do things that could easily have been done by our parents 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago.
I'm going to give you
things that they needed to know. But we don't need to know.
I'm going to give you examples. You're right. You can't find for those trades, like Mac of all trades, to find qualified guys to do that kind of work. It's getting harder and harder. That is true. I also think that life is coming at you a lot faster and a lot harder now, and you don't necessarily have the time to do that. And a lot of times maybe the father didn't have the interest to show you how to do it or to teach you. Maybe he didn't like doing it himself. I always liked working with my hands, and I will say that one of the things that I learned early on, my dad always did stuff. My dad, to me, and I wish he was here because I would love to have said this to his face, and I've said it a few times to him, but I think he is one of the most impressive human beings I have ever met. He grew up in a tenement in Brooklyn, that like just this tiny little apartment, right? It was cheaper because they didn't have elevators if you lived up higher because there were stairs. The more expensive apartments were lower. Now it's reversed, right? You go to New York City, you're paying to be up on an upper floor, but there's elevators. There were no elevators. So they lived there. His parents were very young. They were 19, 20 when they got married. And there was no power tools. No one was working. There were no home improvement. There was nothing was being done.
There was no Bob Vila.
No, but the house I grew up in, he built. He built it.
He designed it.
Somebody came and did the foundation, and there was a company that did that. And then he did the wiring, the framing, all the other stuff. And I had never done this shit. A lot of that, he'll say, he credits philosophy, being able to look at things and understand them. He built me the coolest fucking room when I was 8 years old. It was a loft. It was so cool. It was like you're living in a fort. I had a bulletin board that if it was actually a closet door, and I could put things on it, and then you open up, there was a closet behind it. And it was just genius, the stuff he did. I was not as good at that stuff, but what I liked was in radio, you talked into a microphone, and then it was gone. Before there was any form of podcasting, it was pretty much gone, right? We would do best ofs and things, and you'd play that back.
But somebody had to tape it, or else it was
but most
forever.
of the time it was just gone, and you didn't have anything tangible. Like some jobs, even teaching, I guess to a certain degree, you can go, I did this today. I got this kid to understand this concept. That's a tangible in a way, right? So I liked working with my hands, because then if I hung a door in my house, when I changed them from like hollow doors to solid pine that I had stained and all, I could look at that and go, I did that. And there was some real satisfaction in that. I just feel like people don't have the fucking time anymore. I mean, Kevin's running 9 different directions with hockey, right? And then you've got...
Both parents work now.
Right, work, but work gets you all the time. They're getting you all the time. Hey, did you get my email? When did you send it? 9 o'clock last night. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. There's
There's no time off, really. There is, but there sort of isn't in the corporate world, if that's where you're working, right? So I don't know if it's just... I don't know if it's, I don't want to say it's laziness, but I think I like working with my hands. I don't do anything really now, but I sold a lot of my tools when I moved.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Yeah. I mean, I think most people like my age wouldn't know how to like turn a wrench or any of that stuff.
I'll tell you what, I can't wait in 15, 20 years when young families start to downsize their homes, and we see all the home improvement projects that went on during COVID. This half-assed bullshit, fucking, 14 on center, improper wiring, all kinds of shit.
No, my buddy Joe's going through it now. So he bought a house in Brighton, right? And they had a pool, and this guy really had to like leave town in a hurry, so he got a great price on the house. And he was a DIY guy. They've had to refix pretty much everything in the entire house over the last 15 years.
My father was a great one, because he would always say things like, my brother used to refer to it as a movie set. I used to say we lived in a mirage. Like, he could make things look beautiful, but then he would always say to us, if you know the rules, then you'll know how to break them, right? So for a while, there was a plumbing issue. He could fix it to the washing machine. and my kids were little, and I remember this because Jackson and Jordan were little. He ran a hose through the back window and just tacked it up on the rafters in the unfinished part of the basement. And to fill the washing machine, you have to squirt a hose. My mother was out of her fucking mind, hated it. But he would just do shit like that. He says, it's good enough. Who cares? We had we went to my uncle's house. My uncle had a stained glass window interior in the house that they had put in. It was in a wall, and it looked nice. My father goes, I'm going to do that. Finish the basement, puts it in, right? But on the other side of that wall, it wasn't insulated. It wasn't anything. It was just basically like a Hollywood movie set.
Yeah, right.
Like, if you pushed, it would have gone there. Oh, if you know how to do it, break the rules. It was fine. That was always kind of his thing. But he could do anything very well. Pop culture stuff real quick. I got the entire breakdown of the Drake Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I got songs. I'm going to put it all together. We may look at it on Sunday when we do our Mother's Day broadcast, just that, sons fighting. But I have an interesting thing. The shooting, from what I understand, outside of Drake's house in Toronto has to do with The Weeknd. The Weeknd's record company versus Drake's record company. And I started to think, I go, could you imagine if we went back and all of a sudden Fuji comes along and shoots outside of Eastman Kodak because they took an idea? That's basically what we're saying. It's insane. It's like the resolution with guns, and go back to technology. I'll tell you what, I think face-to-face communication has completely dissipated. If what Jeffrey Rogers is saying, most of these fights start online with people, like someone taking something out of context, then it escalates, and then it hits the street.
Right,
it's
because
like,
89% of the conversation is lost in text.
Sure. Is that not
1138-55 rule, it's called. 11% of the conversation that you have with anybody is the words you use. 38% is the tone, and 55% is the body language. So think about how much of that has been lost in social media.
Well, the body language is gone. Right? Body language is pretty much gone in social media.
And so is tone. Like, I hate using emojis, but sometimes I'll use a laughing emojis if I'm like joking with somebody.
Yeah.
I'm not,
LOL doesn't hold it for you?
I will never use LOL. I've never used LOL. I'm not an LOL guy.
Look at this.
No.
Too good for
What is
LOL.
I'm too good for LOL.
Too good for LOL,
I'm too good
are you?
for it.
Yeah, I'm going to LOL your ass all
I'm
the
not
time.
an LOL guy.
I'm just going to start sending you LOL. It's just going to LOL.
He's an ROFMAL kind of guy.
I've never used any of those acronyms or whatever they are.
Why?
BRB.
It's not me.
No BRB?
It's not me. Just okay. That's the only one I use. It's okay. Okay.
IY. Was it?
I've had to look them up.
I had to look them up too. I don't want to admit it, but I just did.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and Justin Bieber about to have his first kid.
Oh, wow.
Haley, he slipped one past Haley's goalie.
Oh, did he?
Canadian hockey
But
player.
Haley.
Bieber, isn't that her name?
Okay, could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 'cause I know that Josh Allen's got a girl, Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah, no. It's
So I
not.
wasn't sure if like somebody was
No.
going in the wrong yard.
Will he be a good dad or not a good dad? I
don't know.
I better be a great dad. Yeah.
He didn't have a dad growing up, did he?
His dad popped up on the scene. He was down with him when he was racing Lamborghinis in Florida. It
was like draft day.
The father showed up.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. I think he got arrested. I think Justin got arrested, but I think his father was there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
on that trip. Went with him.
Were they reenacting Talladega Nights?
I don't know what they were doing. All right, we'll take a moment. Closest to the pin, me versus Danny. I was hoping my dad would be here because I think he would have liked that game, but he was a little tired. We will get to that next. But first, Iron Smoke Distillery. If your mom likes alcohol, if your mom likes whiskey, pick up a bottle of Iron Smoke Distillery. Great whiskey. You can also go the Rattlesnake Rosie line.
Get two. One for you, one for mom.
Yeah, that's not a bad
Don't leave
idea.
yourself out.
That's not a bad idea at all. And then what is the drink you make with the Rattlesnake Rosie apple pie whiskey?
Redheaded Rosie.
The redheaded Rosie. Yeah, all right, redheads. Something about those redheads. But a whole lot of action happening over at Iron Smoke Distillery this entire weekend. They had belly dancing last week, so whatever they do over there is always going to be a whole lot of fun.
Absolutely.
By the way, the belly dancing looks impossible to do.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever seen belly dancing up close?
Yeah.
Like it looks nearly impossible to do.
Dan could do it.
I have a belly for
He'll
it.
tell you 5-6 times different ways how to do it.
On Friday the 10th, a big old party band is coming. Something else. Party for Mom. You can get out there. That starts at 8:30. But they have the acoustic sunset sessions with James Drott. So that's first at 5. Then something else. Then the comeback Saturday, the Acoustic Sunset Sessions will be done croon tunes with Richie Green, which I would assume is things like Perry Como,
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra, Frankie
My
Valli.
wife loves Rich Green.
Really?
Loves him.
I would love it. I really want to go see that.
He's very
But
talented.
I got graduation.
He
that
used
day.
to play Ozzy in Blizzard of Oz.
Did he really?
He put on the Ozzy wig and they go do
Wow.
Ozzy
That's
tunes.
a really talented guy then.
Yeah, he's also in that. He was also in the Jesus Christ Superstar. He played
Jesus Christ.
Pontius Pilate, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
really? Well, now, if you were asked, could you play that role?
I would not play any of
I
those.
knew it.
I've seen
Got it.
them do the songs 3 times, and I still have no idea. Like, I can't hear like half the words that are coming out of their mouths.
Saturday night at 8:30. If you're a country fan, get out there. Plenty of room to dance. State Line will be taking the
State Line, very
yeah,
talented.
very talented. And then it's the Mother's Day Psychic Fair from 2:30 to 6:30. Magical Mother's Day celebration. I wonder if I should take my mom over there. She dabbles in that sort of stuff.
You know what? You should have her battle the psychic because she's a Reiki.
Yeah.
And maybe they could have like a psycho off.
That's what I need. That's exactly what I need, Dan. Thank you. Iron Smoke Distillery. Where is it? Fairport, New York, baby.